It's the beginning of December, and if you plan on attending or hosting a holiday party this month, you can make it a memorable and impressive event with proper etiquette behavior. Etiquette consultant, founder, and director of the Magnolia School of Etiquette and Protocol, Jonnie Fox Flanagan, is here to discuss dining formalities and to offer tips to remember in a formal social environment. Hi, Jonnie, and welcome to the show.
Good to see you.
Nice to meet you. Okay,
thank you for
now
having
these are
me.
things, do you find that a lot of people have lost throughout the years, the whole etiquette, you know, and throwing really nice parties?
I get asked every day, or told every day, it's just a wonderful service that you have. We're so glad you're doing it. So many people need this, and that's great to hear for the business. But I do think people find that less time at home, less time at the table, that kids aren't learning how to eat. Now, this is fairly formal. This isn't exactly what we would.
This is beautiful.
I
have to say, Jonnie, is absolutely outstanding.
This is a 6-course place setting that we have here. So
I kind of feel like Pretty Woman, you know how she's in the fancy restaurant. I don't know where to start.
Without the escargot fork.
I know. Let's start with, you mentioned decoding the setting. Okay, what is that?
So to decode, you would look at your place setting, and when you eat from the outside in. So as we look at this place setting, we would start on the outside here, and we'll see that we have a cocktail fork or an appetizer fork. So that's going to show us that we are having an appetizer as our first course.
Okay.
That would be removed, and then the next course would be, as you see, a soup spoon. So our next course would be soup. And now I don't have the soup bowl here, but there would be one there. Then, because we have a salad fork, a dinner fish fork, and a dinner fork, we have a matching knife for each one. Every fork is married to a knife, except the appetizer fork. So this salad knife goes with this salad fork, this fish knife goes with this fish fork, and this dinner knife goes with this dinner fork. Now, and we have a sorbet spoon in between because we have a fish course, so we want to cleanse our palate after that.
Okay, got it. Now, how would we know the difference? Like, is it just because of where it's placed, or are they usually, you know?
Usually they're offset a little or a little different. A fish fork usually has certain little tines, as you can see, or a little difference in the way the tines come up. The salad fork, as most of us know, is usually a little shorter than the dinner fork. And sometimes they'll just offset it like this at a restaurant, where you can see the difference.
And is the salad fork always cold? Because I've noticed in some restaurants
it's nice if it is. It isn't always, but it's nice when it is. Okay. It's a very nice formal touch to have that. And then with our so you can see we'd have appetizer soup, we'd have a salad, appetizer soup, salad, and a fish course and a main course, and then this is our dessert course up here. So you can see we have a dessert fork and a dessert spoon.
Okay.
And bread is not considered a course, but this is our bread and butter plate.
Okay.
And then our glassware, same thing. To navigate your glassware, you can have up to 5 glasses for a service. So here you would see that you have a water glass, a red wine, a white wine, a champagne, and then a sherry or a port or an after-dinner cordial would be served there.
And we would know that by also the shapes. And the height of them.
Right, and they're usually the one will be served with the course. If you're having the fish first, maybe the white wine will be closer to here. Your water glass would be above your knife, and you can recognize your champagne and such.
Well, this is placed beautifully.
Thank you.
I'm going to try and do this.
Salt and pepper is always passed together.
Okay. All right, and then also we move on to napkin etiquette. Is that the first step or second step, really?
Napkin is really the first step. If there is a host there, we wait for the host to indicate that they're ready, and they'll take the napkin and put it on their lap. Now, I made a very fancy napkin fold here. I used 3 different napkins to fold together, a lot of red, white, and green here. In a very formal setting, you might just have a rectangular napkin right in the middle of the centerpiece. In a less formal setting, maybe when the children are setting the place, you would have it to the left of the place here. Okay. And once the host puts the napkin in their lap, everyone else follows. If there's no host, it's just the first thing that we all do. With children, I say, you know, once you just move away, children can set their own place setting. If you take away some of this formality here, you will see that you could have a basic place setting right there with just your knife on the right and your fork on the left, and perhaps a soup spoon, so they could set that at home all by themselves.
And I like that too, because then lets the guests know that it is a child's setting, so a child can sit there. Okay.
Absolutely.
Now, Jonnie, what is a BMW and B&D tip?
Those are tips to help people remember that, for instance, if you're at a wedding and you're at that big round table, a lot of times people get so intimidated, right? Because maybe they're left-handed and they just immediately take that glass of water or whatever on the left, and that messes it up for the whole table. So the rule is that if you can make a B and a D with your hands, if we were on this side facing our place setting, you would see how this works. So it would be like a B here and a D here. Then the B is for bread and the D is for drinks. And so when you do that in front of your place setting, it would show that your bread is up here and your drink glasses are to the right, so you never mess up. You pick up the right ones. BMW is just another way to remember it. Bread left, meal center, water right.
I love it. You know, it's so funny because even, you know, as an adult, I'm like, I go to a fancy dinner and I'm like, where is it the right side that's mine? Is it the left? And you don't
want a round table where there's just everything just sort of all comes together, and you get a little intimidated by so much serviceware and utensils and such. So it does help.
No, that's just a perfect way of thinking it. All right, so what's next? When we're sitting down and we already determined what's ours, what do we do next?
Well, the napkin is the first rule of etiquette, or the first thing to do. And sometimes there'll be a bread basket that they'll pass around, and so we always pass to the right. We shouldn't short stop, where you would stop if someone asked you to pass the bread and you go to pass it and then someone stops in the middle and takes theirs and does that. That's kind of not. And then you certainly can eat the bread rolls and stuff. We have a way to eat bread and butter rolls. We take one bite-sized piece at a time off of, it would be placed here, it would come around the basket and you would take it out with tongs or with a napkin.
Not by hand.
Right, and well, sometimes there's a napkin folded over it and you can use that. So you'd set your bread roll here. This is your bread and butter knife. And when you want that, and then there would be a community butter dish, or there might be just a butter pat here. Either way, you break off one bite-sized piece, and you butter your one bite-sized piece. You put your knife back down, with the blades are always facing the center of the plate, as you can see.
Okay.
And you eat that one bite, and you do that every time. So no picking up the whole roll and putting it in your mouth, right? And so yeah, you would just begin with that in the conversation at the table and such before you would go on to, and then as your meal begins to come, you will see by your utensils again what's coming first.
Great. Now, would you say just overall the main thing to think or to remember in table etiquette is be considerate, be, you know, respectful?
I think so. I think that it's nice to have nice social conversation at the table. Certain things we know are topic taboos. We try to stay away from those that we know are going to be inflammatory at all. So, you know, the weather is nice and today's news with Jocelyn and things like that. But
everything happy.
Yeah, just nice happy thoughts and table conversation and enjoying the food, complimenting the food.
Exactly. Jonnie, thank you so much for joining us here on the show.
Thank you for having me.
These are great tips that I know I'm going to definitely use. For more information, check out magnoliaetiquette.com.